In this review we look at a specialised piece of heavy haulage, and it's in the colours of Mammoet, the Dutch heavy lifting and haulage specialist. The model is a Mercedes-Benz Arocs tractor, and the trailer is a 7-axle Notabone ballast trailer, and it's used usually for carrying parts of heavy cranes. As you can see, the packaging is high quality and there's nice foam rubber protecting the parts. And the only thing we need to do is to carefully remove the model, not snagging any small parts on the foam as we take them out. Also in the packaging are some bags of small parts. There's a small Mammoet container, and we also have some paperwork. Everyone loves paperwork, so let's see what comes with the model. And to begin with, there's a nice little booklet which has information and photos of the real ballast trailer. And it would certainly be nice if all models came with information like this. The booklet then goes on to discuss the model and the various configurations that are available, and it describes the main features of the ballast trailer model. Also included is a Mammoet collector card. The Mercedes-Benz Arocs is actually a techno model, and therefore there are a number of small parts to fit, including mirrors and aerials. Unfortunately, the fit of the parts is often too loose, so they can easily fall out, so you have to be careful and maybe use some sticky stuff to keep them in. The landing legs of the trailer come in a separate bag, so they have to be fitted, and there are absolutely tiny pins that you have to insert to lock the legs in place. At the back there's another part to fit, and that's a small beacon light. With all the small parts fitted, we can then join up the tractor and trailer, and as usual, clunk click does the trick. To complete one configuration of the model, we'll use a giant hand crane to place the Mammoet container. So the Arocs has a very detailed chassis. You can see the engine sump and the gearbox. There's a nicely decorated fuel tank and an exhaust box. The components of the transmission and suspension are modelled, and we have different tyres front and rear. On top of the stream space cab are lights, aerials and air horns, and we have the famous Mammoet name and Mercedes-Benz emblem. There's a realistic number plate and Dutch warning sign, and the chevron graphics and lights all look very nice. The high quality graphics continue on the side of the cab, and it's pleasing that there are small graphics as well, including a fleet number. Other details include highlighted lights and the painted hubs of the wheels. And that little bit of red paint just makes the model look that bit more attractive. Behind the cab there's another sign in Dutch, and there's an array of black coiled lines. There's also a plastic cabinet with storage boxes, and the doors have highlighted handles. At the back of the tractor, the detailing gives an authentic look. Moving to the trailer, and there's a detailed turntable for the fifth wheel, and it's nice how the aluminium beams have been modelled in the deck surface. The big super single tyres and wheels are impressive. There's some very high quality detailing along the deck edge, and that also includes a Mammoet fleet number. Up on top, the aluminium beams are beautifully detailed in the deck surface. And further down the trailer there's a control console, and the highlighted tie-down loops is a treat. The wheels are also highly detailed. At the back of the trailer there are many graphics to add detail, and that includes the Notabone logo on the protection bar and also on the mud flaps. The container is fairly simple, but it has sharp graphics and a delineated door. With the Arocs lounging around on its back, we can check the steering, and the range of movement is very good. And it's nice to see that on a truck model. Out we go onto the Cranes etc. test track, and the Arocs rolls along reasonably well in a straight line. But the most impressive performance is with the steering set. So this Arocs will pose very well. It does have a tilting cab, and underneath we can see an engine, all modelled in black plastic. It also comes with a spare fifth wheel with a wider pin access for different trailers. Moving on to the trailer, and it does have linked steering on 6 of the axles. And that's a complicated piece of model engineering, and IMC has done a good job with it. And we don't want our ballast weights to have a bumpy ride, so there's sprung suspension on every axle. Right side up and the trailer rolls well with all of the wheels grounded nicely. And if we set the multi-axle steering, we get a nice curve being followed. Whilst we're at it, let's check the suspension as well, and the engineering of that is also very good. If you need to lower the landing legs, that can be done, but bear in mind the pins that control that are extremely small. Another configuration option for the model is that it comes with the container, but if you don't want that, you can also fit a headboard, and that fits very securely on the model. It also has an opening spare wheel holder, but just don't try and get the wheel out because it won't come out. As we said, this is a ballast carrier usually accompanying a large mobile crane. So here we're loading it up with parts from a Liebherr LTM 1750. As an alternative that you're only likely to see on cranes etc., we will use the ballast carrier to transport a heavy precast beam. This is another attractive heavy haulage model in Mammoet colours. It has a high level of detail and also some nice functionality, and of course it's particularly good if it accompanies a large mobile crane model. So if you want another model in your Mammoet fleet, this one is very good.